Today I've got a comparison video between two pen lights, that being the Thrunite TI4 up on the top and the Streamlight Stylus Pro on the bottom. When I first got into flashlights some years back, the Streamlight was really the only choice that was out there. It was the one that everyone talked about, and it was the one that everyone seemed to carry. I worked with a few people that had it, but I never really knew much about it, never really seen it, never really played with it, and I was always kind of curious about it. And since then, I've had several other pen lights. I've had, of course, the Thrunite, which I've reviewed previously, and I've had a 4.7's light, but never had one of these Streamlights. So when Thrunite asked me to do a comparison video between the two of them, I was interested because, again, I got to see one of these Streamlights and check it out. So here are the two lights. They are both AAA, 2x AAA lights, and they are, for all intents and purposes, about the same size. The Thrunite on the left there is maybe just a hint smaller through the body, but again, they're pretty much about the same. The head, again, kind of negligible. The head on the Streamlight on the right is just a hint bigger, but again, really not by much. And in the back, fairly similar. Tail buttons are a little bit different. The basics on this, the price, the Thrunite is $25.95, the Streamlight is $17.95. I'll put links to these in the descriptions. The Thrunite comes in black, and the Streamlight comes in a multitude of colors. Black, blue, silver, red, a bunch of different colors, so you can check all those out as well. The packaging on these, the Thrunite comes with this retail type plastic packaging with some information on the back, which you will, of course, throw out. And the Thrunite comes with their new standard cardboard packaging, which I guess you would probably also throw out eventually. On the inside of this, it does come with 2 extra O-rings and, of course, the handy-dandy instruction manual. The Streamlight also comes with a little lanyard holster kind of case that you can put the light in there and you can carry it. There's a loop here, and this will carry or will fit a 1.5-inch belt. I tried it on and it fits fine. So if you want to carry this on your waist, kind of holster style, if you're a belt case kind of guy, you could use this. Me, I carry this light a bunch in the ER and I just clip it into my pocket. I don't really have a big need to carry an extra holster, but it would be an option if you're so inclined there. So there is that. On to the lights themselves. They are both made of aircraft grade aluminum. The texture on them is slightly different. The Thrunite is a nice smooth texture, whereas the Streamlight has just a subtle hint of texture. It's not a lot, but it's just enough to make it a little bit more grippy. I do prefer the slightly grippier texture of the Streamlight. The Thrunite is IPX8 rated. The Streamlight is IPX4 rated, so it's going to have a little bit less weather resistibility, if that's a concern for you, with your pen light. On the back here, the tail caps are a little bit different. The tail buttons. The Streamlight is kind of a rounded, rubbery type button, and the Thrunite is just a plastic, smaller button. The Streamlight, the tail cap is a momentary, and with a very firm click, really firm actually, it will come on. It's a really firm press. Whereas the Thrunite is a reverse click design, and then you can half press through the brightnesses, which I'll mention in a bit. For a pen light, you're probably not going to be using this as a tactical pen light, but if you do, I suppose this is nice because the likelihood that you're going to, in a stress reaction, accidentally turn it on instead of the momentary is pretty low, but I guess there's, for what that's worth. The pocket clips on the two of these, they both have about the same space up at the top of the clip here. However, the Thrunite clip here has a lot more space through the clip. So if you're going to put this into a thick pocket, I always carry this in my pants. This is going to go over some thick material. I've heard some complaints about people with the Streamlight that because this clip goes to such a narrow end there, that it kind of bends out while it's in your pocket, and eventually the clip can get kind of bent out of shape. The one place that the Streamlight is better on the pocket clip, though, is that it flares out a little bit more on the end there compared to the Thrunite, which I would prefer to flare out just a little bit more because I do find that sometimes putting it into my pocket, I have to take it and lift it up just a little bit to get it over my the material in the pants, but not a huge deal. Either way, I guess it would give a win on the Thrunite there just because it's a little bit more roomy here if you're going to be putting it into some thick material. Up into the heads, the Streamlight has the C4 LED. The Thrunite has the XPG2 LED. The Thrunite has a textured reflector. The Streamlight has a smooth reflector. And the Streamlight reflector it's a deeper reflector. So the Streamlight puts out a more focused beam, whereas the Thrunite puts out a more diffuse beam. The Streamlight has an output of only 65 lumens. The Thrunite will go up to 252 lumens. Let's compare the user interface of these. The Streamlight has one output, 65 lumens. It's a momentary press there, and if you press it firmly, it will stay on. It's a really firm press. It's almost too firm, but I suppose the upside of that, it's not going to come on in your pocket like the 4.7's light I had used to do by getting pushed on my material. If any of you have this and this softens up at all, let me know if this gets a little easier to push or not. This has mode memory, fancy thing because, well, it only has one mode, so it's going to remember that mode memory. It will do that 65 lumens for 6.5 hours. The Thrunite, on the other hand, has 3 modes, 4 actually. It has a moonlight mode, which I always love, 0.3 lumens. It will do that for 137 hours. Up to 24 lumens for 12 hours, and 252 lumens for 51 minutes. If you go through the brightnesses fast, twice, you will get the strobe, which it will do for 90 minutes. You can get between the brightnesses by either half pressing or going off and on. It also has mode memory, so if it's been on for a couple seconds, you turn it off, you leave it off for a little bit, you come back, it's going to go back to that mode that you turned it off at, so it has the mode memory there as well. So I definitely give a nod to the Thrunite for the 3 different outputs. I use this a ton for looking in eyes and throats, and 65 lumens is really going to be too bright for looking in someone's eyes. You won't like that in your eyes, I can tell you. I tried it in mine. They didn't like it, but 24 lumens is a good amount for looking in throats and eyes, and if you need to bump up to the next level, it's there as well. So that's about it. Fairly quick comparison between 2 pen lights. There's not a whole lot to say about a pen light. Final decision between the 2 of them, again, not a lot of decision-making points. The Streamlight is cheaper, $18, and it does come with 2 batteries, which is a nice touch, as well as the belt holder if you're so inclined for that. The Thrunite is $26. It doesn't come with batteries, but for me, I like the different outputs. For my use, 65 lumens is going to be too bright. I like the 24 lumens for looking in eyes and throats, and I like the option of having different outputs. The strobe, I really don't use it that much, but I have used it for signaling people in parking lots. Did that with my parents on one of my lights. Otherwise, they're fairly the same size, same weight. I think the pocket clip is a little bit better on the Thrunite, like I mentioned. But whatever your need is, if you are happy with 165 lumen output for whatever you're doing, and you like the momentary, then maybe the Streamlight is the one for you. But if you like a little bit more versatility, a little more variety and output, a little bit better pocket clip for a few extra dollars, I think I'd probably go with the Thrunite. So there you go. That's about it. Let me know what you think. I will put some links below the video here if you want to check them out on Amazon, and see you next time.